Do. And then let me see if I can bring this image in. Very cool. All right, so there's the first one. And then let me see what else we can bring in here. Yes. Let me see if there's a better way to save this. There we go. Put that into 8. Bring that in as well. There we go. Let me bring this over here. And embiggen this a little bit. Let me see. Webcam feed, bring to the top. There we go. And we'll just hide the game capture going on over here. Cool.
Your shirt matches the chill one.
Yeah?
It does.
I'm trying to figure out... Hold on. That's Switch games. That's for Steam Switch game. Is that supposed to be for... when I do... What is this normally supposed to be? I don't want to delete a window capture and then be like, oh, whoops, that was supposed to be for peak or stuff like that. Okay, we should be fine. So we'll just get rid of that. Okay. And then we will close this thing over here. Cool. Ugh. I do. This shirt looks really good on me. All right, so the first thing. You all need to vote on which energy I am using. We have blood orange, we have pink lemonade, we have grape popsicle, we have black cherry, and we have blue raspberry. So let me go ahead and get that vote going on in there. Close that. I'll set up a poll right now. Hold on. Close that. I don't even remember if they gave me like a promotion code. I'm very bad at this, can you tell? All right.
You're not bad, you just haven't done it much.
Which Rogue Energy flavor should I use? All right, we have blood orange, pink lemonade, black cherry. I mean, honestly, all of these sound like they're good in their own way. Grape popsicle and blue raspberry. 2-minute vote while I scarf down some key lime pie. I'll be right back.
Hi, chat. How we doing? Yes, me take over for 90 seconds. Welcome, 3Enemo. There was 7 hours of streaming prior to this. We're doing like a 30-minute chit chat about Rogue Energy, and then another stream for a different game, which will probably be another 3 to 4 hours after that. So you got lots of streaming going on. Hey, Ran, I hope I see you at AFC. Okay, chat, if you were a flavor of drink, it doesn't have to be energy. You can be energy or hydration or chill. Actually, tell me if you would be energy, hydration, or chill, and pick a flavor. And you can pick your own flavor. It doesn't have to be one of the ones from the poll. This is a personality test now. Hell yeah, Pilk. That says everything I need to know. Ari, you can make up your own though. Like, do you feel you are more inclined towards energy or chill or perhaps hydration, somewhere in between, and then literally any flavor you want?
Interesting. I did not expect that blood orange was going to be the winner.
That's what I voted for.
Very cool. Was it a tie, or let me take a look here?
No, it's blood orange had 7, and then the next most popular had 4.
Very, very interesting.
It was pretty evenly split though. Yeah.
Yeah. Sorry. So let me go fill this up, and then I will talk about. I'll read my initial impressions. I'm gonna try and work in order. It's gonna jump all over the place, but this is how you know it's gonna be like my organic representation of it, rather than like, oh, I did research and planned a PowerPoint presentation, because there are actually some good things and some things that I wasn't so sure about that I want to bring up. But overall, I will say, as like a very, very brief TLDR, I can see how something like this can be helpful to people who want to hydrate more often. I have different opinions when it comes to caffeination, and especially I can't say much about chill because I didn't actually get a chance to try it because they only sent me one and my friend took it. So, but hold on, let me go fill this up.
Do you? Oh, bye. I was gonna. Okay, bye. I'll ask later. Animo, I am also a water drinker. And if I'm very sensitive to caffeine, so. Log, I was gonna ask, because obviously the energy one is gonna have stuff like caffeine or potentially other, I don't know, I don't know this, so I'm gonna ask if it's like caffeine or guarana or whatever, but I was gonna ask if chill had like something in it that was supposed to like actually chill you out, or if it's more just a vibes thing. And I assume hydration is like big on the electrolytes. Oh my god, Spout, you brought me pizza. Thank you. Enemo, how do you feel about Yoo-hoo, if that's something that exists where you live?
Okay. Ta-da! Oi! So, as you can see here, we've got this very nice container that now has orange hearts instead of the red. And I'm sure if I use blue raspberry, it would be blue. There was a summer or it was like a rocket popsicle flavor. Because what you see on the top of the screen with like the sour candy, the dragon fruit, the strawberry hibiscus, that is not the only flavor that they have. And as you might have seen when I went through the entire list, there are a lot of them. I'm gonna actually look up Rogue Energy flavors and see what kind of examples
Can you look something else up while you're on the site?
What's up?
So I was gonna ask you this and then you left me. But if energy is a caffeine-based thing and hydration is an electrolytes-focused thing, does chill also have something in it?
I don't know.
Or is the point of chill... I know, that's what... I know. That's why I said look it up while you're on their site.
You can just access their link. Let me just post an example right there. Hold on. So, let me see what it has. It's got... tryptophan. It does have a little bit of tryptophan. It says L-tryptophan 250 milligrams. So, I mean, anyone who's ever heard a Thanksgiving joke knows that tryptophan is supposed to kind of put you into a bit of a food coma. Ashwagandha, gamma amino butyric acid, chamomile flower extract, theanine, valerian root extract. Chamomile has also often been said to help induce calmness, right?
Yes. So I'm most familiar with L-theanine, chamomile, and ashwagandha.
Right.
In terms of like stuff I've heard about personally.
Right. So it's all about 50 milligrams each. So tryptophan is 250, ashwagandha is 50, valerian root extract is 25. So what is significant about this? I'm trying to figure out where I want to start with this. Why don't we start with what caused them to reach out to me in the first place? So, first of all, to anyone from Rogue Energy who's sitting in on this, thank you for giving me a shot at this. I don't know if it was because I'm a streamer. I don't know if I just happened to be on a list and you just decided to give me a shot. Let me move that so that you guys can see stuff more easily. So maybe there wasn't anything special about me and they just decided to throw a dart at the wall and see what would happen. However, as you all know, I typically do not like using my platform to sponsor things unless there is a genuine interest in the product. I am not the type of person that wants to do Raid Shadow Legends unless I'm really into that kind of game. I don't want to be playing mobile games on stream unless that is a mobile game that I love. And that's why I would happily shill for stuff like Manu and Class of Heroes because I love dungeon crawlers. But this was a unique situation where even though I'm sure Rogue Energy does all kinds of partnerships, I figured it was worth a shot because, one, they were offering to send me like a kit with a bunch of different flavors and of course something to use it with. And I don't mind this, especially for their packets. And they were going to send it all for free. Like literally I didn't even have to pay shipping. The other reason being because as someone who streams for extended periods of time, and especially someone who also does voice acting, hydration is one of the most important things that I need to keep consistent on. I even asked them like, hey, can we specifically focus on the hydration flavors because that's the one that I want to get the most use out of. What I will say is that if you look at their website, they largely focus on energy. The vast majority of their flavors are energy. For example, here are all the flavors they have for chill. Peaches and Dreams and Strawberry Hibiscus. That's it. That's all they've got for chill. For hydration, they have a couple more. They have Rainbow Candy, Radiant Rush, Snowstorm, and Fruit Punch, which is what I had earlier. So they have 4 for hydration. Here are all the flavors they have for, I'm sorry, they also have Dragon Fruit Mango. Let me correct myself. So they have Dragon Fruit Mango, Fruit Punch, Snowstorm, Radiant Rush, and Rainbow Candy. Here are all the flavors they have for energy, which is the caffeine version. Pink Lemonade, Blood Orange, Grape Popsicle, Black Cherry, Sour Candy, Strawberry Banana, Pink Lemonade. Oh, is that a larger tub? Oh, Caffeine Sensitive Energy 2.0. Okay, so I guess they released some 2.0 versions. They also have Tiger's Blood, Dragon Fruit Lemonade, Blue Raspberry, Rocket Pop, and Strawberry Kiwi. So one of my initial complaints as a potential consumer, and I promise there's a lot more positive that I have to say than negative, but in showing that I'm being honest, I want to start with the stuff that I knew I was going to be worried about. I try to avoid having caffeine as a consistent part of my diet. I wanted to view Rogue Energy, or I want to view Rogue Energy as a potential replacement to the Red Bull drinks that I often have, because a water drink with a supplement in it that gives it a flavor is going to be better than an energy drink that puts a crap load of caffeine into my body. The other reason is because I don't want to throw shade on them, so I'm not going to name them, but there is a different brand of energy supplement that Kate and I both used, and one serving of that made her sick and made me have near heart palpitations. Like, it was really strong. The caffeine in that other supplement was really strong to where even I was like, oh, I'm like really aware of how wide my eyes are. Like, it wasn't a drug effect, but like when you were just aware that you were caffeinated instead of just being more awake than usual. So even though she still has a huge tub of it her place, I don't know when we're ever going to work through it, because just a single serving felt like too much. So maybe we can try half servings. I don't know. Right. So when I reached out to Rogue, I was like, hey, I want to focus on the hydration because I'm not a caffeine person. Now, I'll be honest, part of why I am using the Blood Orange Energy, even though I'm saying this, is because I am doing a bit of a marathon stream today. I think it would help to have the energy to keep me going. But it is not something that I want to make a staple of my regular routine. Let me have a sip of this. What does that remind me of? Hold on, I need to take another sip. Kate.
Yes.
You know when you have a nectarine that's not quite ripe and the juice tastes flat?
Kinda, yeah.
That's what this flavor is for me.
Oh, that's right. In my brain, like, it's because the only thing I ever drink that's blood orange flavored is carbonated, and so I was like, what do you mean it's flat?
It's not quite as robust as I was hoping for, but then again, so the other thing that will make it... I'm pretty good at those analogies. You know when you have a really juicy tangerine, it's got that clear orange flavor to it, but then sometimes you get a tangerine that's like dried up on the inside and the juice isn't as flavorful and it's just kind of like flavored water. I know this is flavored water. You don't need to talk to me about that, but however, so let me move on to the first thing, the core of this that I appreciate about this product. If you are someone who struggles with consuming enough water in your life, I'm going to jump back a bit more. I'm going to jump back, and this is going to make sense. Just trust me. There was a period about 2 years ago when I was getting sick of drinking water and sick of drinking tea. I wanted something other than water to drink when I was getting thirsty. And that was when I learned that, like, practically everything out there that isn't water is either loaded with sugar or loaded with caffeine. I was really bummed because I wanted to try, I always forget this. What is the name of that tea? The bottles are like, it's a rectangle bottle, but it's a cylindrical, but it's a cylindrical neck. Is it like Nature Valley tea, or it's not Naked?
It's a square bottle.
It's a square. It's like a rectangle square bottle. Pure Leaf. Pure Leaf.
Oh, yep. I know what you're talking about.
Yes. So my initial thought was, okay, I like tea. I've gotten accustomed to tea, so maybe I can have tea instead of water. And that turned out to be a huge mistake, because every single tea, I swear to God, there was no way to find a tea if it was unsweetened it had caffeine in it. And if it was sweetened, if it didn't have caffeine, it had almost as much sugar as a can of soda. I was in disbelief at how much sugar was in those teas, and if they were sugar-free or unsweetened, how much caffeine they put in it to make up for the fact that it didn't have sugar. I couldn't drink them. I couldn't drink them because I could not find a version that didn't have sugar and didn't have caffeine. Barley tea, yes. So barley tea was a version that I ended up finding that I really enjoyed. Now, not everyone enjoys the taste of barley tea. I don't mind it, especially when it's chilled. I think it's really nice because it's got, I call it flavorful earth water. But I do enjoy barley tea. However, that is a very distinct flavor. And I seem to be part of a minority because not a lot of people I know seem to like the taste of barley tea. And obviously you need to be able to find something that works for you. Which leads me to my main point regarding Rogue Energy, specifically in regards to hydration. I need to find... Let me find the packet that I had thrown away, just so that I can read you what the... Or no, I can find it on the website itself. So, what was the one that I had done at the beginning of this? Was it... Not strawberry hibiscus, it was fruit punch. All right, let's take a look at this. So I'm going to save this supplement fact and bring it in real quick. .jpg. Okay. All right. So, image, bring it in. Excuse me. All right, so here is from their website the supplement facts for the Fruit Punch Hydration Pack that I had put in my drink earlier today. So let's take a look here. Low amount of sodium, that's pretty good. Only 5% is pretty fine. I know plenty of foods, especially processed foods, where it has like 20 to 30% of your daily sodium. No carbohydrates, no dietary fiber, no sugars, no added sugars, that's a big one. No protein. Okay, so we've got vitamin D3, niacin, a huge amount of B6, a huge amount of B12, magnesium, zinc, chloride, potassium. Most important thing is that there is no caffeine and there is no sugar. One of the things that you need to know is that for the most part, when they put these ridiculous amounts of daily value of vitamins in it, when it says like 500% of vitamin B6, or even I've seen products that said it was 1,900% of your daily intake of vitamin D12 or something like that. What you need to know is that for the most part, any percentage of your daily intake of a vitamin over 100%, unless you are literally deficient in it and need to take more than usual, like if you have an iron deficiency, is pointless. Taking 1,500% of your daily amount of vitamin B6 is not going to do anything for you, to my knowledge. Most of it is just going to get expunged through your urine the next time that you pee. And that doesn't mean you're doing harm to your body. It just means that for the most part, a lot of, when you think of companies that like push these miracle, you know, supplement cures on you that say, oh, it gives you over 500% of like 12 different vitamins. Yes, if you were not taking those vitamins normally, it's going to help in you getting the 100% of your daily value. But that extra 400% is not going to do anything for you. Your kidneys are going to filter it out. You're going to get rid of it through your urine. You're not going to gain anything bonus by taking 400% extra of your daily intake. You'd be better off just taking a daily multivitamin that just gives you 120% of a bunch of, you know, different vitamins. And again, yeah, ask your doctor if it's actually useful. So that's the first lesson I want you all to know, is just going forward, do not pay attention to the most part for most of these things that say it gives you 500% of anything. Ask yourself if you are deficient in certain vitamins, or if there's anything that you could use more of, or that you, due to a medical issue or a nutritional issue, if you actually do need to intake more than the average person of something. Otherwise, it's not worth your attention. Anyway, the reason why I wanted to point out the lack of sugar and the lack of caffeine is because one of the biggest benefits I think that this offers is if you are someone who wants to hydrate more often, but struggles to make the effort to drink water, either because you're sick of it or because other things have more flavor. I can say with confidence, having tried flavors over the course of the last week and a half, that using the hydration packs did incentivize me to sip water more often. It was a psychological trick on my own brain. The sour candy as I think I did end up using the sour candy as an example. It wasn't because of the caffeine that I wanted to drink it more often, but the sour candy, I had a, if you've ever seen one of those, are they aluminum bottles, Kate? The ones that they sell at airports nowadays?
I think they're metal, yeah.
Metal. If you've ever seen one of those metal bottles that they often sell at airports that are supposed to be easy to refill, I had one of those with me, and to give you an example of how frequently I was using this, here's what I did last week. On Tuesday, I was walking around the Natural History Museum. On Wednesday, I was walking around the LA Zoo. On Thursday, I spent from 10 a.m. until 1:30 a.m. the following morning at Universal between the theme park and Halloween Horror Nights. On Friday the 12th, I spent about 8 hours at Six Flags Magic Mountain walking across the entire park and riding every ride at least once. And then on Saturday, I spent most of the day walking around Aquarium of the Pacific. I did a lot of walking. And what I can say with definitive confidence is that when I had the flavor pack of the hydration that I poured into there and I flavored the water, whether that was... Let me see which flavors that I had used. I think they gave me a little bit of everything when it came to hydration. I did everything except fruit punch. So I had tried the snowstorm. I tried I think I tried the strawberry hibiscus. I think there was one other one that they gave me. Oh, I also tried the dragon fruit mango. When I used one of the flavor packs in that bottle of water, I found myself opening it to take sips more often because I enjoyed the flavor that the water now had. In particular, I would say sour candy was one of my favorites. It actually did taste like liquefied Sour Patch Kids, which I thought was interesting. Snowstorm was okay. Snowstorm kind of reminded me of Glacier from like Gatorade. Fruit Punch actually surprised me earlier. I didn't mind it as much as I thought I would. I'm typically not a fan of Fruit Punch. Dragon Fruit Mango was solid. Blood Orange, I would say right now, is the weakest of the ones that I've had. But all that means is that you just need to find a flavor or a couple of flavors that you enjoy. But throughout the day, when I would use the packets of hydration, I did drink water more often. And I think that is the single most valuable aspect of this. If it is something like, obviously, the goal is that you don't need to be spending money constantly in order to convince yourself to drink water. But if you have the money available, and if your goal, if you were saying, I am willing to spend money if it means I am better at hydrating, I think there is a genuine positive impact that this has on drinking water more often without also imbibing harmful stuff like excess sugar or especially caffeine. I will be the one to say that I am specifically pitching for hydration and or chill. As an individual, I do not think we should be getting ourselves addicted to caffeine. I think having a dependency on caffeine is a really dangerous thing in this in today's world. I'm personally affected by excess caffeine consumption because I had a coworker who died while I was working at that job from excess caffeine. Their heart stopped in their sleep and they woke up dead. I'm not making this up. So the reason why that contrasts is, as you can see, it looks like Rogue Energy kind of has this, like, make it a part of your lifestyle routine. Energy in the morning to get yourself up, or energy throughout the day. Yeah, it says energy. It almost seems like a morning after or throughout the day evening, where based on what I'm reading here, it says energy, gain the requisite energy boost to take on the day. I disagree with that. I don't think caffeine should be a necessary part. I think just having a breakfast, having any energy for your body to burn, is going to be good to get you up and at 'em. That's why they talk about having a healthy breakfast. You just need those simple sugars and those essential nutrients to get your body to start working itself up, burning energy. Kate, you mentioned at one point that it's usually easier for people who actually eat breakfast to maintain a healthy weight, because if they cram all their food in at the end of the day, they don't get a proper chance to digest it, right?
Yeah, usually, again, ask your doctor, but most people benefit from having like several meals throughout the day instead of one very large meal at the end of the day.
Right. And I say this as someone who's not a breakfast eater, but that is a choice that I make. I will usually have a lunch and then have that be the start of my day. So my apologies to Rogue Energy, but I speak out when it comes against caffeine. I don't think caffeine needs to be a regular part of our lives. And I also would want people to be aware of, just always be cognizant of when products or companies in general, this is not against anyone specific, but always be cognizant about when a company or product wants you to make it part of your life routine that you aren't already intending on doing, because it creates two effects. One, it becomes a new source of expense that you were funneling money into, and two, especially if the product is putting something in your body that you would notice a withdrawal of if you stopped using it, that's the whole point, is getting you addicted to a product that you then feel negative effects if you're not using it anymore. And I will be honest, I used the energy a couple of times, and on day 3, when I wasn't using it, it felt like I was getting tired sooner. And that's exactly what I'm talking about, where it's like, if you begin to build a dependency on something to make you awake, and you suddenly don't use it anymore, you don't have access, you're going to crash down to lower than where you were before. But I am happy with stuff like hydration and potentially chill, because hydration, I think the key element of hydration, I could be wrong, but what I got out of it was that having water that was flavored in different ways was fun. It was fun for my brain. It tasted unique. I got excited about the next time that I would take a sip of water. It was like a reward for myself, because every time I took a drink, I was tasting strawberry hibiscus or dragon mango something, and I wasn't spending, you know, $6 on a Starbucks drink in order to get a mango refresher instead. So I'm gonna keep repeating myself, but that's why, it's because I think it's the most valuable aspect of this. I think there is genuine value to Rogue Energy, especially their hydration stuff, if you are someone who wants to be better about drinking water, or at least wants to have, if you want to psychologically trick yourself, if you want it to taste different than how it normally tastes, because it had a genuine positive impact on the amount of times that I drank water throughout the day. So, chill, unfortunately, I did not have the proper chance to explore. I don't know what kind of effect it would have on my body. That is something that I would anticipate, or that I would do your own research and see what effects you have in response to tryptophan, what response you have to things like chamomile, for example. A lot of people find lavender very calming. Kate, how do you find lavender? Or how does lavender find you?
Itchy.
Itchy. So you would not be very at peace if you had lavender before you laid down for the evening?
That's correct.
So, still important for people struggling to drink water, yes.
Also,
go ahead.
Can I throw one thing in here too?
Go ahead.
If you take any medications, also always double check your supplements and make sure there's no contraindications. The more stuff that's in a supplement, and this isn't just specific to this is regardless of what you're taking, just check. You don't want to accidentally combine two things that you're not supposed to.
Right. So obviously there are other options. There's you could always try, you know, Gatorade Zero Sugar. I think that is also a zero sugar option that doesn't have caffeine in it as well. I know that some folks use stuff like Mio. I mean, there's probably new what help me out, chat, because I'm oblivious to all of this. What is the water droplet flavoring that most people think of nowadays when they think of, you take a little bottle and you squeeze some drops in your water and you flavor it? When I was first moving to California in 2012, is it still Mio? Okay. So like Mio was the one that I was aware of before then, but none of those flavors did it for me. It tasted like I put food coloring in my water and it didn't work for me. So I can attest that if your goal is to flavor your water without putting bad shit in your body and you want it to taste decent, I really enjoyed the hydration. I enjoyed Snowstorm, I enjoyed Fruit Punch, I enjoyed Dragon Fruit Mango. I haven't had a chance to try Rainbow Candy. but I would be willing to try it if they'd send me a couple more packets. I'm hesitant because it's like, I don't want to get into the habit of spending money on this stuff. I just want to be better about drinking water in general. And thankfully, my career keeps me busy enough that, I'm drinking tea pretty consistent anyway. However, as a streamer, I know that most of the time that I'm sitting here streaming, it's not always water that I'm drinking. Most of the time when you folks have me drinking stuff, I'm either drinking a Starbucks drink that I had my wife get me, or I'm drinking Arnold Palmer tea and lemonade, which is still loaded with sugar, or I'm drinking a soda, or I'm drinking a Red Bull, and water is not often it. So in my specific case as a working voice actor, I feel like I get a lot of my hydration naturally just from going out to my job, because I always bring my growler of water, and a huge thank you to the folks who gifted that to me, or to the person who gifted that to me. And I always make myself hot tea at the studio. So I am doing fine with staying hydrated at sessions themselves. But I could see value every once in a while if I wanted to drop 20, 30 bucks on a tub of hydration stuff. I could see value in having flavors to give myself when I'm doing long-term streams, so that when people redeem those, hydration requirements, I'm not putting off drinking water because I'm more focused on my game than on something else. I genuinely enjoy drinking these flavors. So, yeah, like, this is already halfway gone. As you can see, I'm already halfway done with this fill up, and this is a decent amount. This is like, I don't know if this 20 means 20 fluid ounces or something like that, but this is more than you're gonna get in a bottle of water. And I could already tell that I'm probably gonna polish this off and then need to have another one over the course of the next stream. So that's also where I point out to watch your consumption levels, because obviously if you drink a lot of hydration, and if you develop a taste for those flavors and you're like, oh, I can't drink regular water anymore, I need those flavors, there's a risk of you spending more money because you're plowing through it. That being said, there are a lot worse things you can do in life than be drinking more water than you're used to and hydrating yourself more frequently. The reason why that can also help, there's a lot of side effects that are related to thirst that people are not typically aware of. There are many times when you feel, does the lid drip? So, I took a risk there just then. I took a definite risk there. What better advertisement are you gonna get, right? Well, obviously, make sure you screw it all the way closed, because when I refilled this earlier, it was a little lopsided, and when I went to shake it up, I could tell that it was starting to spill down the side a little bit. But yeah, I mean, they make the cup this way because you need to be able to do this, in order to mix it up. The other thing that I'll say before I change tack again is, this is another point that I would bring up. I do recommend that you follow the instructions about how much powder to put in, especially if you get the tub, because these are single servings, they're already measured out. But if you get one of the tubs, I would pay attention to the instructions on how much water you should mix it into, because on the first packet that I used, it wasn't a very full bottle of water. It was like a typical bottle of water, like a regular bottle of Aquafina, standard size. And either it didn't, dissolve the powder well enough or something, but I was almost about to write a negative review of the product, because what I felt was, after drinking it, the powder sticking to the back of my throat made it feel drier than usual, and I was about to go, oh, it's one of those bullshit products where it's like, how there's companies that give you lip balm that actually dries your lips out so that you use it more often? I was worried that this was one of those cases where you drank the mixture and it powdered the back of your throat felt dry, and then you felt inspired to drink the product more often. But I'm glad that I continued to give it more chances over the course of the week, because once I put it into a larger container and it was dissolved in a larger volume of water, I have not had that issue where it felt like my throat had powder on the back of it. So it is important that you actually use the amount of water that they use, and I don't seem to be having any residual effects from this container, so I would say they've probably done a good job of, oh, that's so good. It's so good. When you're thirsty and you drink it and it's got an extra flavor, I can see why this works. I can see why this works. Anyway, what was oh. Okay, so we were talking about hydration and the awareness of, oh, if I start drinking, you know, what if I start drinking this more often and now I'm spending more money because I'm purchasing more product in order to flavor my water. Yes, that is something to be cognizant of. However, there are unintentional side effects to being thirsty that most people are not aware of. Headaches are more often when you are thirsty. Sickness can happen more often when you are thirsty, because if your body is thirsty, it doesn't have the ease of moving cells throughout your body, and it can result in negative physical effects. One of the most common side effects of thirst is hunger. That is why a lot of dietitians recommend that if you feel hungry, if you find that you are constantly wanting to snack throughout the day, you should try hydrating first and then see if you're still hungry in 20 to 30 minutes. Because there are many times our brains are very good at letting us know when we need to pee, when we need to eat, when we need to drink water. But there are times when the brain isn't sure if it's hungry or if it's just thirsty, so it just sends the signal of like, I need sustenance of some kind, because a lot of the foods that we eat do contain some kind of liquid. So it can be easy for us to think, oh, my brain was telling me it was hungry. And instead the brain is going, no, I just know that you get most of your hydration from the food that you eat. So when I'm thirsty, I'm going to tell you to eat food because I know that's how you get water into your body. So even if you do find yourself drinking water more often, and again, this is on you to be aware of and to measure yourself out, there are a lot worse things you could be doing other than drinking more water than you're used to, and especially if it helps to curb cravings. If you are someone who is looking to lose weight or to measure out your meals or to reduce your amount of snacking throughout the day, I have been trying to cut down it myself, because when I go costuming, I have to stay within this window of about 165 to 190 pounds. I'm sitting at about 182 right now, but I've gone up as high as like 186 to 188, and it genuinely worries me that if I keep snacking throughout the day, that I'm gonna slowly, I'm not gonna become obese, but I'm gonna gain enough weight that things that fit me don't fit anymore, and it's gonna be a pain in the ass to find replacements. So this is nice chill hop music for this. Is there anything you want to throw on top of that, Kate?
No, I don't think I haven't. Yeah, no, this is your ship. I'm gonna let you steer.
So let me see. Let me see the size of the container that they sent me. Give me a sec. So this is the container that they sent me of the fruit punch. I assume this is what you would be getting if you ordered it for yourself online. It's relatively small. It's about palm size. This is 3.8 ounces. Let me see what it is on their website. It says like 4.3. So this must be a sampler size. You'll get slightly 4.94, which gives you about 40 servings. Oh, maybe they just changed the size, because this one says 40 servings as well. Let me see, is there a lid on the top of it? Okay, cool. So we'll open this up and showcase it real quick. There we go. Do not spill this all over the floor. So you got your tiny little scoop, you got your single serving, and you can either measure it out like this. It's got about 40 servings in there. And I believe 40 servings of that, if I were to guess, if I were to consistently use hydration throughout the day, I would estimate I would probably go through about... Oh, how many of these would I drink in a day? If I were streaming long term, with the kinds of gulps that I take, I could see myself going through a minimum of 5 to 8 servings of these in a day. What's my favorite flavor? Of the ones that I've had, I think my number one was sour candy, but I want to discredit it, or not discredit, I want to discount it because it's an energy one and I don't want to do energy very often. I want to say it was Dragon Fruit Mango slightly beat out Snowstorm. Snowstorm was close to having that Glacier Freeze flavor that I really like from Gatorade, but it was a little bit flatter, but the Dragon Fruit Mango really stood out. But I will say that if you are someone who's going to use Rogue Energy, the sour candy was really good. It was really good. I think I drank the entire container, or the not the entire the water container. I think I drank the entire thing of that in less than 5 minutes because I couldn't stop taking sips. Right? Is it? Oh, it does say that it's sold out. Yeah. So, for if we look at it that way, if I were to go through 5 to 8 of these a day, that means I would probably need to buy a new tub of this every, well, 5 to 8 days, as it so turns out. And that's a lot. That's a lot. If we do some quick calculations, let's assume the lower end of that. Let's assume that I need to buy if I use 5 every day to stay super hydrated, 365 divided by 8 is 45 containers that I would buy over the course of the year. Times $35 if I'm not buying it on sale is about $1,600. Is how much I would end up spending on just Rogue Hydration over the course of the year. And that is assuming that I was going through 5 servings a day. Obviously, I don't have to put a serving in every single time I have water. Obviously, that accounts for if I'm going to be streaming every single day, because there's plenty of times when I just make water or make tea. Do I have a promo code? I don't know if they gave me a promo code. Let me check. Let me see. Rogue partnership offer. Okay, let me look here. If this is something you would be interested in, we would love to send you a starter kit and a tub of your choice. Partners get the following upon onboarding: 20% discount code, 30% 3-day welcome code bump, 40% personal non-commissioned discount code for shaker cups and tubs and starter kits, 10% commissions on sales using your code or referral link, partner portal to track sales, new partner only Discord. They provide graphics, lifetime revenue reward system. Every $300 in sales, partners earn free products and more. Giveaway support on a case-by-case basis. So they did not provide me a promo code for this. I'm guessing that this was part of the onboarding process if I wanted to proceed or continue with them. I hope that after this stream, they recognize that I genuinely have a lot of positive things to say about it, and that my critiques are mostly, hey, I'd like more flavors for hydration and chill, and also I think it would be cool if you offered, like, a mix and match tub. Like, can people pay for, like, even if it was less, if it was like 20 to 30 packets instead of 40 servings, if people could get like a mix and match pack where it's like 5 each of dragon fruit, snowstorm, you know, so that we have different flavors instead of getting sick of the one. Because yes, I enjoyed sour candy the one time that I had it. I don't know if I'm still going to care for sour candy after the 25th time that I've had it, and there's still 15 more servings to go. And I don't know if I want to buy one of every single Rogue Energy flavor just so that I can switch it up. You know what I mean? So the indecisive. So that is Rogue. If you're listening in, give us an option. You can make it half the servings at 75% the price. But if it means that I'm actually going to use that shit, great. So will this be something I pursue? I would like to keep trying it. I will use up the remainder of the energy packs that they gave me, if for no other reason than because the next time that I feel like chugging a Red Bull to stay up in the evening, I can use this instead. But ultimately, I would like to try and get to a healthier lifestyle of not imbibing caffeine at all, and see if just being better about staying hydrated helps me to stay awake more often. I just want to spend 30 minutes, and this is going to end up being another hour-long stream. So, sure thing. I may have a PS4 controller I can use. Or if you have a personal recommendation. So, purchase a variety of packets in different amounts. Wait, is that something I'm missing? Is that on the website? Oh, single serve packs. Oh, they already solved it. Look at me. Look at me being an idiot. They literally did it. They literally did. You can get half the servings at 75% of the price. That is so goddamn funny. That is so funny. You literally can pick 5 different flavors. I'm gonna load the page just to show you how hard they called me just now. Here we go. Here we go. Here's the page right here of single serve packs, and you can go to custom 30 pack. It's now I will point this out. I will point this out. If you notice, you get 10 fewer servings and it's more expensive. If you are willing to commit, you could get 40 servings of the sour candy Rogue Energy for about 50 cents per serving, or you pay $41, probably plus shipping, for the custom 30. Let's actually see how much it would cost. We're just gonna pick a bunch. Ooh, I like this. The color coding, I like this. All right, let's see what the shipping is. I mean, you all know my professional email already. This isn't unique. I am going to use an address that literally nobody lives at anymore, so we'll be safe. That is not my first name. All right, what's the shipping gonna be? Okay, so we'll say $47. So let's see. 30. It's either one way or it's the other way. So you either spend... I have to do math. I hate math. Hold on. 21, 22 divided by 40 is about 55 cents per packet. And then if you do the individual packs, you're spending about 64 cents per pack instead. So just something to keep in mind. Let's continue looking at this. So yeah, you can get custom packs. If I were to do it, this is probably what I would do. I would spend a little bit more money and do the custom packs, in order to have a selection of stuff that I can do instead of having to commit to the same one every single time. But if there happens to be a flavor that you discover you really like, there is nothing stopping you from just getting that and saving money in the process. This is probably what I would do. I would probably get the 4 hydrations, and then the last one would be the strawberry hibiscus. So, and in fact, I'll probably wait, and if they decide to give me a discount code after this stream, if they decide I didn't completely shoot myself in the foot, I wonder if that... What's better? What's better? If I just use that now, or if I... Partners get the following upon onboarding. 20% discount code. 40% discount code for shaker cups and starter kits. So this is a better deal when I sign up for emails and texts. So I will probably make use of it. Should see if we can... Well, they didn't give me an account info, so I don't know how I would log into it. I will just email them after the fact and say, hey, do I need to create an affiliate account? Do you have a referral link for me or something like that? But I will say what I'll probably do is I'll use this 25% off and order myself the 30 pack to kind of refill on these and just see how I like it and see how it does if I use it more frequently for streams as well. I think that would be the major thing. I am the new voice of Bubsy, yes. That is true, Logarithms, but I also said, like I said, if you're the type of person who gets tired of something, if you have it over and over and over and over and over again, doing the custom packs could be a way of keeping on top of it, where it's like, oh, you don't start avoiding it because you're sick of the flavor that you've already had. People dump billions of dollars a year in advertising into figuring out how to trick the brain, both for good and for bad, both tricking it into addiction or placebo affecting when it comes to medical processes and the like. So, but anyway, I will summarize everything that I just said, and then we'll take like another 5-minute break while I set up the third part of tonight's streams. But to go back to everything that I said before, Rogue Energy sponsored me. They wanted me to showcase their product. They gave me a free sampler to try throughout the next couple of the next week or two. I had a perfect opportunity to take them up on it because I was going to be doing a crap load of walking around for the week following when they sent the package. I generally do not recommend caffeine in general. I find it's an addictive substance, just like many other things in life. I feel like people would do better off not needing caffeine in their lives. I do think there is a place for it if you need a little bit of energy, but again, it's one of those things where you have to be aware of your addiction potential. However, I have a lot of good things to say about hydration. As long as you are aware of the expense that you're making, or God forbid, if you're working a career or a craft where this could be considered a business expense because I need to keep myself hydrated and energized in order to do my work and my streams. As long as you are aware of how frequently you are using it, as long as you are aware of the cost potential of using this rather than just drinking water for free, I think it has a lot of benefits to offer. And from a psychological standpoint, I see immediate benefit in how it incentivized me to consume water more frequently without putting shit like caffeine and sugar into my body. So I find value in that, and I support the product for that reason. Everyone's needs are different. If you are someone who already hydrates regularly and you don't mind it, I don't think the supplement would do anything for you. If you are someone who would like to drink water more often, or, you know, is just held back by the fact that you find water uninteresting, that's entirely valid. It's entirely valid to struggle with, but the same reason why some people avoid workouts, because they're uncomfortable. Some people love the feeling of feeling their muscles burn and feeling that sense of improvement, and for others it's really hard because it's uncomfortable and you're sore and it hurts and you have to set aside the time for it. And there's a lot of cases where we ask ourselves, or we tell ourselves, if only it were more fun, or if it were easier to do, I would do it more often. And I think adding this flavoring, which I enjoyed most of the flavors that I had, even now, you can see, unprompted by you guys on stream, I am finding myself reaching for this to drink more often, because when I feel a little bit thirsty, my brain is going, hey, if you hydrate, you get to have more of that blood orange flavor, and it's better than just plain water. It is having a genuine impact on my willingness, my excitedness, and my enthusiasm to hydrate. And I feel good about the fact that I'm not imbibing sugar and caffeine along the way. So, that is my overall review. It's not for everyone. I definitely would not posit it as the be-all solution, but especially when it comes to hydration, potentially chill, I think it has a lot of benefits to offer if you are someone who would like to be better about hydrating in general. So, a big thank you to Rogue Energy for sending me the starter kit. I hope this is the start of a productive partnership and a continued improvement of my consistent hydration when I'm at home. Is to keep it hella cold. And I think they do generally recommend that you mix it in with cold water. I'd have to check, but I believe it says it's recommended that you mix it in with cold water. It doesn't say... Yes, it says mix with 16 ounces of cold water. So... But... You know, there are times when cold water is not the most ideal for me to do as well in my career. But yes. So let me bring everything back here. I'm going to undo everything here because I need to make sure that my stuff is ready for the next stream. Cool. Excuse me. All right, y'all. That'll do it for the sponsorship stream. Again, a big thank you to Rogue Energy for supplying me with that. I mean, I said all this already, but I hope you all feel like I was honest and transparent about why I took this opportunity and how I felt about it. I hope that Rogue Energy feels that I have been, you know, straightforward and honest about what I liked and what I didn't. And if you end up using it for yourself, feel free to talk to me about what flavor you enjoy. Because, man, I really wish, I pray that they can make some of these flavors available as hydration. Black cherry, sour candy, probably pink lemonade. I would probably frick those up if those were available as hydration. And my one complaint is that it feels like I don't have as many options when it comes to the hydration options, and even fewer when it comes to Rogue Chill. So... I'm excited for them. I am. I would just love to see some of these energy flavors be available as hydration, especially because they already allow you to buy them as individualized packets. So, all right, y'all. That'll do it for the second part of the stream. I need a couple minutes to set up. I mean, I'm gonna stop stream, change the stuff, start up stream again. But you're gonna see me basically doing setup for about 5-10 minutes. So we'll keep Chill Hop running in the background. Just be aware that I'm not hopping straight into the next game because I also need to talk shop with the person that I'm going to be interviewing. So we'll be back in a little bit. Thank you very much.